had last Thursday. He said it's time for a book, and he says you can say I want it to be anonymous, or you can use my name, whatever. So please, he talked about that. I didn't do it either. So he needs us to email him about our experience Thursday and Friday and how that impacted us.
He also asked me to say something to the group about it.
Please stand up and do that so we don't forget.
It won't take too long. I took notes because I did not want to forget.
I know.
Because otherwise I will forget and I would not want that. Hold on.
You were smart enough to do it on your phone.
Yeah, because I hear it right. Okay, so basically he said that there's a lot of people that have been experiencing a lot of different energies going on. Is that?
That's what we're going to do.
Okay. And so he says that when we get to the point that something like we're experiencing that, whether it's that we're having memories or flashbacks of people or things that have happened in the past, or even dreams that are weird that we may not know where it's coming from, he said just to ask for forgiveness and to give forgiveness to the person or to the event, but just go ahead at that moment and say, I ask for forgiveness if I've done something wrong, and I give forgiveness if you've done something wrong. For whatever that is, it's bringing that experience. And he also says that, like we've been channeling the waterfalls to bring the energy of God to us. He goes that right now it's so powerful we need to connect directly to God. So let God be the conduit, and that we should just say, God, you have this. Take over. Please take care of it. And that's
use
basically
God's energy.
Use God's energy, because we can go from, tens to 20s to hundreds to thousands to millions of waterfalls. At this point, the shift is so great that it's not even enough. That we need to look at basically connecting directly to the source energy from God and just hand it over to God, whatever it is.
Okay, we ask for forgiveness and we
Give forgiveness.
give forgiveness.
Right. So if, for example, you have some type of dream that, or you remember somebody you haven't thought about in many years, and there's something that's bothering you or something that happened, then at that moment you ask for forgiveness from that person, and then you grant forgiveness to that person for whatever is causing that shift in energy in you right now. I think that's it. Mom, did I miss anything? Okay.
Good. Thank you.
Thank you.
Before I forget, every time I'm up here, I forget. Gary forgot last week. Whose glasses? No? Well, they're not missing them, obviously, because nobody's asking. Missing some people, yes. Okay. All right. Did everybody do a prosperity list, a prosperity book? Remember he said make a list of what you want to manifest? Okay, I know, we get so many things in here sometimes that I did remember that part. I probably forgot other things, but I remembered that. And his advice was be specific. If it's about wealth, how much wealth? Not, I want a lot of money, I want to be wealthy, be specific. All of these things you want to manifest, spell it out. Don't leave anything to chance. Okay, so we got the notice to email him. He would like that soon. Tell him if you're going to be anonymous or you can use your name. And make sure he called it a prosperity book. So I just have it written on a piece of paper. Okay, before we do anything else, let's go ahead and do our statement of who we really are, and we seem to have extra copies, so anybody needs a statement, or you can just repeat it. I need this one, Sharon, to read.
Thank you.
Maybe we can share it up. Have enough to go around to share.
Can we repeat?
We can repeat. That's faster and quicker. We'll do it that way, and then if you need a copy, make sure you grab one before you leave. Okay, so our first statement of who we really are is, I'm a child of the divine. I'm a child of the divine. With enthusiasm. I'm a child of the divine. I'm a child of the divine. I'm just now learning this, folks. I gotta practice. I'm wonderfully made. I'm wonderfully made. There we go. I'm connected to every person, place, and thing in the universe.
I'm connected to every person, place, and thing in the universe.
I give myself permission
I give myself permission
and allow myself
to
to be prosperous
prosperous
and have a successful, meaningful life with myself, others, and the divine. I am at peace with myself and my environment
I am at peace with myself and my environment
and enjoy the great opportunity for my prosperity on a daily basis. Keyword is daily. Yes, for me, that's the keyword, daily. It's not when this happens, I'm gonna have peace. That's in the past, that was part of my this, yes. That too. Okay, now let's talk about last week's experiences. Usually we have somebody, I've already picked somebody who had this incredible experience, but tonight we're not going for the most incredible, wonderful, quote unquote. We're going for anybody who had challenges and would like to share them. All right, Ruthie? Thank you for standing up.
No sleep. Constant. Constant, like constant. Vivid dreams, vivid. It's like, even in my sleep, I'm not really sleeping. I'm kind of like either studying or working or thinking or just weird, like glimpses of different pictures, like I'm watching a movie. And it's just, I'm kind of on adrenaline.
Okay.
Even through recently? Or
Yeah.
this afternoon?
It's
Yeah.
continuing?
Yeah. Last night was very, 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 very strong. It
Yeah,
affected
it was
affected her and it affected him too.
Last night it was
Yeah.
horrible.
The whole night.
I couldn't sleep,
Yeah.
and at 3 o'clock in the morning I
I'm a
was
little
walking
hyper,
the
sorry.
house
About
like at 2 o'clock in the afternoon.
2:30, guys? I woke up at 2:30.
Meeting at 2:30?
Mine was 5:30,
And
but I
he
couldn't
was
go back to
packing.
sleep.
And-
I was
and-
packing at 5:30 in the morning.
Okay, Lee was nice enough to raise her hand. Yeah.
Yesterday was the vernal equinox,
Uh-huh.
which has an energetic effect on people who are sensitive enough to pay attention to it.
Oh, I
It's
paid
the
attention.
first day of autumn,
Oh.
so that changes a whole bunch of stuff.
Okay. Oh my God.
I have to remind myself that I don't have to be affected by the darkness. Because in the past, when you know, we don't have so much light, so I'm reminding myself that doesn't have to affect me.
It's not about darkness.
I know, but that's
It's
just
about-
something that I have when the seasons
It's
change.
about
Right,
the fulcrum of change.
yeah.
Where?
Okay, anybody else? Sandra?
There's there's a Unity minister, her name is Patricia Robles.
Cota Robles.
Yeah, I know it's a Latin name, right? And I've got I got to listen to a call, and it's gonna be on this particular website, but she did 30 minutes and explained, she's been a Unity minister for maybe the last 30 years of her life, or maybe even more, I don't know, but she gave the best explanation of what's going on. And it's supposed to be through this whole week, through like the 28th, and all the changes, and that there's a choice that was made that our existence doesn't have to be destroyed, that it's going to carry on, and that's all in a positive light. So, but I've got access to that if anybody wants to know about it. I'd have to kind of look into it when I get home and get on my laptop, but it's a fantastic call.
Maybe you can give it to Mary and Mary
I'll
can
send
give
her
it to
an email,
us.
yeah.
We'll do it that way. Okay, anybody else have challenges?
Yes, right away. The following day, I started to feel very tired. So I am very tired. I have to sleep in the middle of the day, whatever minutes I can get. And I also, the following day, I find it really hard, loud noises. It was like I couldn't even be. I worked for a school, and it was very hard for me to be at school. I was just to the point that I needed to leave. So I managed to come up with something, and I have a day off. I was desperate. And I also, that was happening, but now it's like suddenly I become very frustrated. It can be for a reason, okay? High stress things, I cannot handle really high stress things, or a lot of people talking at the same time, or I can get really disturbed by that. So I was wondering if maybe for me, you see, I'm not seeing the person or anything like that, but it's these things that are coming to me, maybe is forgiveness, or,
And what Dr. Berman said, as far as when we feel anxious like that, like all of a sudden you feel this anxiety, you know where it's coming from, just go ahead and put yourself in the circle and do the asking for forgiveness and giving it to God. Asking for forgiveness, giving forgiveness for whatever it is that's causing it, and then giving it to God. And having the conduit of God's energy. But anxiety was one of the triggers, and he said to do that.
all right, thank you.
Yeah, on Friday, I walked out of here on Thursday night just weird, you know, just, what just happened? I expected, you know, bliss and angels and whatever, you know, and I walked out to my car and, you know, and then Friday, it was like all this whole past stuff I thought I worked through, quote unquote, it bombarded me. It was like one negative thought after another. Remember this? Remember this? Remember this? And so I was telling Marco, I talked to him, and I didn't know what to do. I thought I am not willing to live in this space of negativity. I used to talk back to those thoughts. Well, that was a lot of energy for nothing. You know, they already caught me, and I was roped in. So I told Marco that I just did a lot of deep breathing. For me, because I had to focus on my breath, so I couldn't focus on these things that were running around there.
He did say that that's because, we went through this whole discussion this afternoon.
Oh, good, you're fresh.
Yeah, very fresh. He said that that is basically because we're going through a period of purification. And as we're going through this period of purification, anything that we have not resolved yet is going to come back for us to bless it, ask God to take care of it, and then it's done.
Thank you.
But that's the word he used.
Yes, I couldn't think of anything else, you know, and I also got in touch with, I don't like to call him unless I think I've done it perfectly. So instead of, this is the past, instead of asking for help, I'll wait till it's really good, and then I'll call. So I really got in touch with that pattern, that choice that I've been making, which was really helpful for me. Because that's what I do. I won't call you when I need help. I'll let you know how well it went. So I was grateful for that insight because that's really big for me. Okay, anybody else? I think we've had some Sharon.
I followed what we were doing to the best of my ability. I never felt like I got to the throne room. I didn't have an awareness of that, and went through the whole process, but I don't really have anything to say. I mean, I didn't have any of these experiences anybody else has. But I can say that I felt good. I felt positive. But I didn't have any specific realizations, ahas, anything like that. It's just like, well, maybe I'll get there next time. And maybe something will happen then. I don't know.
Maybe you got there before we did.
Yeah.
You didn't even know it.
So,
Well, I had a session with him and I didn't get there. But then I did get there. He helped me. But, you know, I can't tell. I have not, to this point, been able to tell where I am really in that. I just go with the flow. I know it's what I need to do and just do the best I can and keep showing up.
You're getting it, obviously.
So I have to thank Sharon for saying that because I went and try to follow the instructions to the best of my ability last week. And I don't know if I have just a totally different perception of what a throne room is than what, when I hear the words, I should see. But I went someplace that was hotter than I have ever been in my life, and it was brighter than I have ever, experienced, even brighter than looking at the sun. And I know I kept thinking, well, this can't possibly be where we're supposed to be. I mean, it's like I'm just dripping in sweat. And then it was like there was just a release, and my head fell forward, and then we were somewhere else. And, you know, Gary said, don't touch anybody for a while. And when I got home, it was like my cats were climbing my body, and I mean, it was just different. I've slept better than I generally do, which is not very good at all. So that's a change. And my boss today told me something, and I know 3 weeks ago I wouldn't even have been able to sit there without the words coming out of my mouth. You've got to be just absolutely crazy. Did you smoke crack half an hour ago? And today I just kind of looked at her and said, we'll talk about it. So maybe, you know, maybe there was something there, but
Something happened.
something happened.
We're all unique, so we're gonna have our own experiences, you know, we're not carbon copies
It
of each
can
other.
last even 2 weeks.
Yeah, that's what he said.
Okay, thanks for that information, for
It'll
that
take
heads
2
up.
weeks for the energy to fill in.
Yeah.
To really
Yes,
connect
I've
with
got,
source
I've got a
energy.
big space there that needs to be filled, you know.
Yeah.
Please, and then we'll move on.
Okay, speech is often the poorest vehicle for communicating abstract ideas. So if someone says throne room, we already have a preconceived notion of what that would be. But in a meditation, where I got, had nothing to do with that reality. It was like totally interstellar, far gone beyond that. So,
That's helpful too, thank you. Okay. Okay, Scott, one more.
I ended up in a New York City subway, on a subway car that said the end of the line, and that's where I stopped. Now, I am a New Yorker, so it's not that unusual. I was in subway number 21. There is not a subway stop at 21st Street, to my knowledge, at any point in time. After the day, my electronic signature got far worse. Destroyed multiple computers, and my car was doing funny things. And at the gas pump today, it told me that I should, use something other than a rock. Now, I just kept using my credit card. I just kept saying, card not red, card not red. So I went to another one that said card not red, card not red. I went to another one that said card not red. And I watched people pull up the pumps I just left. Their cards worked fine. But I felt better, sleeping better. I have been ravenously hungry. It's a running joke in my family for a man who's my size and 250 pounds that I literally eat about as much as the average 4-year-old. And it's always been this way for my entire life. I've never eaten a lot, but I'm a huge guy. But I've been much hungrier, which is a little bit bizarre. So it was an interesting experience. I felt better and sleeping better and feeling better. So I just thought I'd throw that in there.
Okay. Well, part of my experience was that by Saturday, I was operating out of my spirit. Gary told me. I didn't know that's what it was about. I knew people were, I can tell when I'm in a different place, in that spiritual place, because people are nice and kind and eye contact, and it's just like very positive for me. I can feel it. But yeah, Saturday morning I woke up and I was in a different place. But I'll tell you, Friday was not fun. But it was necessary. It's all part of the process. Okay. So people, remember, you're going to email your statement. He really wants to make sure we do that. Okay. And know that if there are challenges, that we're here to help each other. We're here to encourage each other. Gary's going to help us. We're not going through this alone. The power and support in this room alone is incredible. Thank you, everybody who keeps showing up, keeps contributing. My pleasure. Okay, in the meditation tonight, we're not gonna use waterfalls, it's what Ruthie said. We're gonna go directly to God and use His energy, its energy. And remember that we were talking about, he said, let the energy come through your head, go down to your feet, into the ground. Remember that elliptical shape that we were doing before? And that was a big thing for me because I've thought everything had to be my energy and wondered why I was exhausted and couldn't do things. And I really was not always aware God's energy is abundant and there's plenty of it for all of us. It's never going to run out. And so this was really good for me to be reminded of that. That when you get to that point, just God's energy is always there. Plug into that. Okay, we know to always give permission and allow Spirit, visualize God's energy going through your head, down to your feet, down through the ground, coming up again like we did originally. Praise, 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 we know that also looks like and sounds like forgiveness, gratitude. And Gary's, our goal is that we live in this 24/7. It's not just for this class, it's not just for when I think of it, that it becomes second nature to us. That we can actually live in that space all the time. So that's why we're going through this, that's why we keep doing this, keep practicing. That's what we're here for. And what do you think is going to happen when we can live in that space 24/7?
Oh, it was a happy day.
Yes. But it isn't all about us. It's impacting the world.
You
Yeah.
operate from your spirit center.
Yes, absolutely. And I don't get stuck. I used to live in my head. My heart had the emotions and they ran everything. And then I would just live in my head trying to figure it out. So living in my spirit is a relief for me. It's a great gift to have that knowledge that that's how we really operate. We came from spirit, so that's who we are. Let me see if I'm forgetting anything here. We don't have any newcomers, so that's good. Okay, so we're about raising our consciousness. When we do that, the whole world shifts. You know, the power, I've talked about this before, the power of us in this room. We are powerful people and we have a pure intention to help others, encourage others, be examples for others, and it's happening. I can see it in my family. It's that ripple effect. We are different. Okay, before we do the meditation tonight, I asked Marco if he would talk to us again about breathing. I learned so much from this man. Because that to me is just getting into that incredible energy, for lack of a better word, and it really worked for me on Friday. I don't know what I've done. I've probably climbed the walls. That doing the breathing is really something I know I need to work on. Anybody else need some help with getting into, it's God's breath, folks.
You need to remember to breathe.
Remember to breathe, absolutely.
I thought breathing would help me to sleep at night.
Mhm.
I tried for a long time the right way that he taught us,
Mhm.
and it wouldn't budge.
Well, we're in a strange time right
Oh,
now.
it
We're
was-
going
It
through.
was really, and today I got up with so much anxiety, and I was really, I couldn't help myself, and I thought that my heart is gonna burst.
Mm.
Really. And, well, I had to see Dr. Berman this afternoon, I had appointment, and I
Good.
explained to him what really happened, and then he told us what is really
Yes.
going on.
When we have an explanation, it's easier to live with it.
Yeah.
We know we're gonna get through it.
happened. I'll tell you.
You knew?
No, Dr. Berman said,
Yeah.
I know what happened.
Yeah.
I'll explain it to you.
Okay, we want to get out of here by 8:30. If we're earlier, that's okay too.
Okay.
So Marco, give us some help, some guidance, some direction. as only you can do.
Okay. Hey, Jay. That's really interesting, that you've had so much anxiety and
I never had it before, that way, no.
and the breathing wasn't
I
enough.
couldn't even breathe.
So, let's say when our bodies get so anxious and nervous and the thoughts are feeding it, the emotions are feeding it, and we're vibrating maybe not at the highest level we would like, you may need to go a little further than just the breath. You may need to get into your physical self and use the synchronization of breath with movement. So we can try one, or maybe a couple tonight, and since we don't have a whole lot of space, we'll keep it stationary and maybe stagger out a bit. But to begin with, I think one of the best things you could do is take inventory of yourself at the time that you are feeling your most vulnerable, anxious, or any aggression or hostility in your own self. Just sit and get a good register as to where your breath is at that time. Feel your own self. Feel everything. So we're getting into the senses at that point and heightening the senses all the way through. So go ahead and maybe a lot of you are coming from work or play or just different places and things like that. So if you could, just for a second, just close your eyes and scan yourself, take that inventory, and see about where your breath is at this time. It doesn't take much, just breathe naturally as you've been all day. You may feel it's not going very deep, it may just be stuck in the chest, and the lower belly is not doing much. You can also see what's going through your mind, see how you feel right now, see where your spine is at the moment. So if you're maybe a lot of curvature in the spine coming forward, you may start to, at that point, lift up from the very bottom tailbone and start to work your way up. So this energy that we talk about, God, it's purifying you at every moment. And there's a lot to go through in life. And the breathing is the way to connect directly with that life-giving energy. It's really simple. It's amazing how we're given all the tools we need in our senses. So, okay, let's just come back into what we're doing right now here and take a little bit more time to think about what just happened. And I'll actually give you a few details. When you breathe in your nose, there's some major nerves that stimulate your whole brain and start stimulating other nerves that are going down into your torso. Into your torso. Your nerves are getting stimulated, and it becomes very relaxing. If you see your thoughts are so carried away and your heart is so heavy, let's use a little exercise at this point. If everybody could just stand up, we can do some quick techniques. Can everyone reach out in front of them without hitting somebody? Okay, good. You're going to need that much space. And we'll keep it simple. So this energy that's coming in through the top of the head, going all the way down into the earth and circulating all the way around, we'll be thinking about that this whole time, but also mainly staying in the spirit center and breathing between the brain, the top of the head, and the spirit center, okay? We'll be using this body to represent the whole cycle. It's just a condensed version of the universe, if you really think about it. So feel yourself about as grounded as you can get through your feet, and with your legs apart so you can keep good balance wherever you are with your balance. And feel yourself grounded to the earth. Okay? So to start off with, we'll be using the hands, and they'll be moving in this direction, palms up to the throat, and then palms down to the earth, and just coming down. So as you're doing this, see if you can feel energy coming off of your body. And just feel yourself. Now, it's good that you're breathing, because I haven't even instructed that part, and y'all are awesome, because it caught right on naturally. So this is vase breathing. So you imagine like you're filling a vase with water from bottom to top. And as you breathe in, comes up to about the neck height, and you push down as you breathe out. So as you're doing this also, you're breathing in as it comes up, and as you go down, feeling for that energy in your hands as well. Your hands give a lot of energy off. So your hands are warming up, your body is feeling deeper and deeper and grounded into the earth as you go down and you breathe down into the earth here. Everything's just feeling more natural and just your true self is coming alive right here. You can put a slight bend in the knees to give yourself more of a grounding feeling. And here, let's just leave it down here at the bottom. During this time frame, you may notice your shoulders tense up as you're coming up. Just thinking about that too. Try to keep broad shoulders, relaxed back, and just moving the hands and the elbows and the wrists here. So the movement of the hands reflect the breath. So if your breath is short, it's the best thing to do is go with it. Instead of trying to control it and be aggressive with it, sometimes we can try to go real slow, but our actual breathing is going fast, and it creates resistance. So just thinking about also going with the flow of what's happening at the time, slowly but surely, as you reflect the breath with your hands, you'll start to get into that meditative action, and things will slow down for you. We'll add a little bit more to that. So this time, when you come up on the breath, inhale, you send the hands out and point the fingers out and let them fall straight down on the exhale and come back up. On the inhale, coming up, and then on the exhale, push out and let them fall down to the ground and back up from the bottom. So the inhale comes in the nose and then up over the top of the head, down the back, and the exhale comes up the front of the body. Exhale coming up the front of the body and out the nose. And this is another inhale here. Now I did Tai Chi today, and I've been in the Spirit Center all day, so my breath is very deep, and I can go very slow. And I'm not saying that to toot my own horn. It's just that I know it works. You get very grounded. So practically speaking, let's say you're washing the dishes. That can be very nerve-wracking. So you can use the same stance. Feel your spine out. And as you're washing the dishes, thinking about breathing. If you're sweeping, mopping, putting dishes away, everything you do, you can use this practically. So, and it's just, if you bend down, pick something up, thinking about the breathing coming up with it. It energizes your muscles. That way you're not tense when you're doing the work, and you just can stay calm and relaxed if you're at work, doing whatever you do. Thinking about when you're sitting down on your keyboard, getting that ergonomic physicality happening, so nothing, you don't get that carpal tunnel syndrome and all that stuff. So if you want to go ahead and take a seat, those are some things you can do physically to start to synchronize yourself. The whole time also, your shoulders will be over your rib cage will be over your hips, keeping the hips and everything here on a flat plane. So if you feel yourself pushing out forward, just remember, just come back and keep everything centered. So, let's set up and intensify the vibration into a little higher, the higher realms right now, just to get you ready for this next meditation. Those are just some very basic instructions as far as getting physical. I'm going to run you through a quick way to release tension just from sitting. So something you can do is, as you breathe in, create tension from your feet to your calves, to your quads and hamstrings. Create tension. Create tension then in your abdomen area, in your lower back, and create tension going all the way up as you breathe in, all the way to the shoulders, the neck, and any tension in the head. You actually create tension as you breathe in, and then as you breathe out, release the tension the opposite direction. And get very relaxed. Take a few of those. Let's just take 3 of those. See how well you can do. It's very difficult to synchronize that at first, but just think about maybe curling the toes and creating that tension, and the calves, and just create tension as you breathe in. And then as you breathe out, just release. So that God energy that's coming in your body is represented in using it. All the action you take, flexing, relaxing, it's God-given energy. And when you take it with the breathing and you let that happen, you're feeding your body with that tension, you're creating that energy, getting everything saturated, all the cells saturated, all the blood saturated with oxygen, and then releasing that, and still having a great attitude doing it. Just a few of those. See? And anywhere you feel that it's not cooperating, it's something to maybe work on. Our brains, when we balance our brains out, left and right side, it's made to connect with your whole being. You can use your whole brain. So your body is under the control of spirit. It's the awakening process making that happen. Connecting with all your ligaments, everything. Never forget that. Okay, so let's just take a few more deep breaths then. Now, when the mind is getting clearer and clearer, let's start to put in a word. So that this time when you inhale, take it in through the nose and over the top of the head, down to the base of the spine, and then as the belly fills up nice and big, then you release the exhale out the front of the body and out the nose, getting that orbital, elliptical pattern of breathing happening. And as it's going, just deepening down into spirit center, getting deeper and deeper into the center. When you breathe in, let's create purity. Say, this is my purity breath. This is purity. Think purity. Purity coming in. Cleansing myself out. Taking the space from all the anxiety. Taking the space from any hostility. Taking it all away. Purity. Maybe on the next one, you create love with it. Love is my destiny. I'm a child of the divine. This is perfect. Body and mind. Spirit is alive in me. Just saying words of affirmation and praise. We can start also with gratitude. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Just thank you over and over. With every breath. Constantly raising your vibrations. Feel your body. You can hear only what you need to hear. Everything else quiets down. There's no distractions. There's no judgment. It's pureness. Also joy. Taking the next one with joy. And all the light. White light. Every breath is white light. Filling your body from bottom to top. Just energy moving. It's flowing with you. If anything creeps in thought-wise, just watching it come in with the breath and let it out with the exhale, no problems. And we have forgiveness. I forgive myself, I forgive others. There's no more guilt. There's nothing keeping me down anymore. It's all pure and natural. I'm made to do this. Perfect. We're going to give it back to Sandra now and see if we can get through this meditation really with high vibrations.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Yes, we can. Okay, we're going to give permission and allow permission. Especially with God's energy in this exercise, in this meditation. It's going to take over this session and we're going to achieve our goal, which is to find our purpose and our destiny and live it. We're going to agree with ourself that all our internal self-judgments, negative stories, external issues, people, places, and things, they're all going to be taken care of with God's infinite, abundant energy working on our behalf. As Marco said, visualize God's energy flowing through you. It's incredible energy flowing through you. It's going to eradicate this negativity. It's not serving your highest good. It's not serving our highest good. Let's create our prosperity circle. And let's put our energetic self in there. Let's put people, places, and things in there. Let's put negative attitudes, negative issues. Spirit knows what these are. Put those in that prosperity circle. Feel God's energy in you, in them, working for all the highest good. God's energy is eradicating those negative issues, those stories that we no longer need. See God's energy working in this entire circle. Nothing is left untouched. You're breathing the breath of God. witnessing God's healing energy in you and everyone and everything else that's in that circle. Keep the praise going, keep the forgiveness going. Know that you're a child of the divine. Feel God's energy working in you. Stay in this circle as long as need be. Know that this work is not just for you, not just for others in your circle,